and Shannon.
How
Hey,
are you?
bud. Hey, bud. Happy Tuesday. How are you?
Happy Tuesday. I'm well. How are you?
You're good? Hey, everybody. How are you? It's nice to see you. And I hope if you're on the podcast listening, it's nice that you're here. I know that we've been getting a lot of questions about where I am and if we're going to keep doing the podcast and if we're back together. Um, Newsflash, we are not stopping the podcast. The podcast is live and in color, and just, we love it, and we've been really working hard to create some new content for you guys and stay busy. So that's
Yes.
why a lot of time in the last few weeks you haven't seen me. But let me just give you, sir, a big round of applause for the outstanding, phenomenal, all the all the great things that you've been doing with our Pioneer series
Thank you.
this month in preparation for the celebration for the ADA. And with
Thanks.
with that, we're gonna jump right into talking a little bit about what was so special about yesterday, and that is that yesterday was the 31st anniversary of the signing of the Americans with Disabilities Act, which is the act that gives rights to and protects the individuals with disabilities. And, everybody and his brother in every single forum, on every single platform, gave, the obligatory happy anniversary, which I'm not, um, disclaimer, I'm not, we're not shaming anybody or shading anybody,
No.
because we, of course, at DBTD did the same thing, because it's just what you do, because ADA is so wonderful, and it was a trailblazing piece of legislation when it was signed. However, we have always talked about the fact that, and a lot of advocates and activists who do what we do on a daily basis
Yes.
talk about the fact that even though the ADA is great, and the signing of the ADA is great, and having those legislation set in place for us about reasonable accommodations and no discrimination, that's all great. However, it's 31 years old, and we still have so far to go. So what we wanted to do is, instead of doing a normal podcast in celebration of the ADA, which, again, disclaimer, let me say, I'm not shaming anybody who did that, because,
No.
like I said, we did at DBTD too. But we got,
Yes.
if you know us here, you know that we want to kind of give you different takes on things that we see, and that we want to recognize. We want to look at it a little bit different than anybody else. So what we decided to do is, yes, we celebrate the ADA. We are very thankful for it. But yesterday, as I was drinking my coffee and scrolling through, I saw a really great kind of mic drop video from our girl Lola Lauren Spencer, over at Setting Pretty. If you don't know her, she's a fantastic, fantastic advocate. She is hip. She has a huge following over on Instagram, just everywhere, all over um, social media. She is a really dynamic, beautiful woman, and I had the chance to interview her a few years ago, and like I'm saying, she's fantastic. But anyway, she dropped a video on her Instagram channel that really caught my eye, and it was a different take on celebrating the ADA. And I thought how cool it would be to show you guys. If you haven't seen it, we're going to show it in just a few minutes. And it's just a short video, touching on a few things. And like I said, if you haven't seen it, you can watch it here, and
But
we'll have it.
but
Go ahead.
the but the video is real. It speaks truth.
Yes, it speaks a lot of real truth that a lot of people with and without disabilities don't realize. Maybe those of us who have disabilities currently have to live it every day. But it really speaks truth about what happens when you get older and you acquire a disability, and how the ADA will also cover you. And so I just and learning and kind of intermingling. In a way, it touches a lot on inclusion if you look deep into it, because
Yes.
she's basically asking the question, why is it only 31 years old?
What what took it so long to
Yeah,
get
right.
signed?
What took us so long to sign a piece of legislation like the ADA? And you know what? Every single point that Lolo makes in this video is on point, and that's why we wanted to show this video. And hopefully, again, we bring the point of our show is to bring light and educate um, those who may need it. And again, disclaimer, we love our community. We are not shaming anybody, but
No.
we just wanted to kind of introduce this video to you and introduce Lolo, who again I'm going to say is a great advocate. So credit to Lolo and this mic drop of a video, because girl,
It's
she did her thing. You did your thing on the video, Lolo. If you're out there, if you're watching, claps to you because you did it. When you talk about educating, she really, really does. And she has tons more videos over on her channel. If you don't, again, if you don't know who she is, go check out Lolo Spencer, Laura, Lolo Lauren Spencer on Instagram, all of the socials, and Sitting Pretty, because that's her brand, and she does a wonderful job representing the disability community, and we're so proud to share her video with you guys, and hopefully bring it in perspective. Maybe kind of turn it on its head a little bit, and then after the video, we are going to give our own thoughts and opinions on kind of the things she talks about and the points she makes. And then we're going to bring it to a close by giving you guys some information about what's coming up. And sadly, we have an announcement to make that we're kind of waiting to make, but we have decided that we um, we will make the announcement before the end of the show. Um, and like I said, we are sad to make this announcement, but we're glad to move on to bigger and better, um, bigger and greater things. And you know, I mean, I can't say it right now. We'll make sure that we say it at the end of the show. But you know, it was a decision on going one way or the other, and sadly, we had to pull out of a situation that we had planned for in the future, but we still love and respect the company that we were working with, and we wish them well. So at the before the end of the show, we will make that announcement. But there's lots of things to share with you throughout this next 30 to 45 minutes. So you guys just hang out with us. Tonight's a really simple one. It's discussing the topic of the Americans with Disabilities Act, and just kind of chilling and learning. So you guys hang out with us, watch this video, and follow along. And make sure to leave your comments and likes, and subscribe to our YouTube video. And we're gonna have this video posted over there in the comment section. So if you have any comments in relation to this video or this topic, please feel free to do that. Feel free to leave them down below after
definitely.
when we upload to our YouTube channel. Okay, so without further ado, unless you have words, AJ, I'm going to cue up the video and we will.
That's real.
Okay, cue it up, right?
Cheer up.
Okay, we're ready. All right, guys, check it out. This is Lauren Lolo Spencer discussing the ADA and 31 years.
Baby, you can eat all the green celery and the fruit all you want, baby, but that does not make you exempt from experiencing disability. So pretty, baby. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to City Free, and today is another celebration. We've got the anniversary of the ADA. Woo! ADA is 31 years old, and that's where the problem lies. The ADA is 31. So when I thought about this, I thought to myself, now how the hell am I older than the damn ADA? As if disabilities are only 30 years old. Disabilities.
So
Much older. There's Bible stories of people being blind and having physical disabilities. And the ADA is only 31 years old. I swear that. And I came up with a list why I believe there is the disconnect between non-disabled people and disabled people in our society. The first thing that I recognize that creates a disconnect is the fact that we never learn about disability, ever. Tell me where in school, as a child, did you learn about disability, about people with disabilities, the impact that people with disabilities have had on the world, or anything of that nature? I'll wait. Exactly. We never do. And you know how we learn about disability in schools? Those kids ride a different bus. Those kids are in a different classroom. We don't play with those kids because those kids are different. When do we ever interact with people with disabilities growing up? We take those habits, those behaviors, and those things that were taught to us and take it into our adult life. So when we see people with disabilities, the first thing is to do is to ignore and to not pay attention or feel like they're separate from us. And that is a huge issue. You shouldn't be ignoring people with disabilities. You should be interacting with people with disabilities just as much as you would interact with anybody else. But we make a
preach.
commitment to ignore. And that is one of the disconnects. Another disconnect is that we have been conditioned to believe that disability equals death. The way my stylist, Stephanie Thomas, shout out to my girl, always says, disability reminds people of their mortality. Who knows where that conditioning started? Probably in media, or because the stories that we see of how people become disabled is such a tragic, borderline life or death situation that we just assume, oh no, life can't go on past this moment. And that's really up because
Yeah.
as people with disabilities, we don't want
And then
death either. So when y'all try to project that energy on us, hello, you're making a very uncomfortable experience. Just because you have a disability does not mean that life is over. And it does not mean you can't live a fruitful, fun, exciting life. I mean, there's so many examples of that on the internet now. Y'all need to get your life and learn. The last reason that I will share is the fact that non-disabled people don't realize that they too will one day be disabled themselves. It is guaranteed. It will happen. What I mean by that is whether you grow old and become disabled and you have to use a wheelchair or a walker or whatever it is to get around, guess what? Disability. Whether something actually happens, you break your arm, you lose your hearing, you lose your sight, or whatever the case is, it's all disability. Don't you think that since everyone is going to experience disability at least one point in their lifetime, that you would want to really cherish people with disabilities and create a lifestyle, a way of living for people with disabilities to be
Inclusiveness.
fruitful and thrive and have it be positive and exciting and fun. So that way, when the day comes for all of you non-disabled people, that you won't think life is over. That's the part that's so mind-boggling to me. So that everyone having to experience disability, you would think that there would be more resources, more dope stuff, because you're going to experience it. Hey, break the news, baby. You can eat all the green celery and the fruit all you want, baby, but that does not make you exempt from experiencing disability. How about we
Absolutely.
start
absolutely
connecting and start
freaking
connecting, okay? Let's start learning, okay? How about y'all just start learning about disability? Great place to start. This ain't even advertising for damn film. This is such a great film and so much learned that even I, as a person with a disability, learned so much more about disability from watching film. So, come on, y'all. In what ways do you want to celebrate the ADA? What did you learn about the ADA? Okay? Go ahead and leave that comment. Learn and interact. And that's it. It's a pretty basic.
It was so good. So good. So good. So good.
Sure was.
So AJ, let's jump right into thoughts, opinions on what we just saw.
She was so right when she said, people, we need to educate our younger people so they're not afraid to interact with disabled
Well,
youth.
yeah, and kind of piggybacking off of what you're saying, you know, she was totally right when she hit the mark and said, um, you know, you don't learn about it in school. You don't hear about it. I know for me, I graduated, and I'm not too proud to say I graduated 20 years ago, 21 years ago this year. And back in my day in high school and grammar school, you didn't hear about people with disabilities. In fact, I might have been one of maybe two people in a mainstream class that had a disability. The rest of them, like she said, was in a different classroom, took the different bus, you know. So in a sense, we were kind of separated or segregated. Even now, um, they still do that, and we understand that there is a time and a place for, you know, those that have special needs. That we're not speaking about those, but we also want everybody. This is a time of inclusion. This is where it's, like she said, it's only 31 years old, and it's crazy that it's only 31 years old. But by now, this is a time of inclusion. Come on, people! Like, it's 2020, it's 2021, and we're moving, you know, we're moving slow, you know, and the process is slow, but it's coming along.
Well, in my opinion, we're moving as slow as a turtle. It's
It is,
it's
and
so respect.
it truly is, and that's where my point about, and we've spoke about it many times on the show. That's where the point of, you know, yes, we celebrate the ADA and the 31 years that it's taken to get here, and the struggles of all of the pioneers of our past who kind of sacrificed to get us here. But it's only 31. I mean, why? And when she asked that question and I saw that, I, you know, my mind did a total shift, and I thought, she's absolutely right. Why has it taken so long to find a Judy Human, or to find an Ally Stroker, or to find a DBTD, or to find a Sitting Pretty and a Lolo Spencer? Because we're all out there. It just, you know, and teach, for me as a mother of two, you know, non-disabled children, I preach to you, you know, even though they're 14 and 15 now, please teach your kids about disability, so when they grow up and when they go to school with people that don't exactly look like them, they don't feel like it's different.
Or when they're out in public, they don't sit
People
there and stare
and
or
ask questions about why.
ask
Yeah,
questions about why make it as normal of a conversation as possible.
it all boils, and the simple point is, go back to what she said. It all boils down to inclusion, and we, you know, and I keep saying it in everything that we put out. I really feel like these are the years of inclusion, and she just goes back and touches on it in a different way, and it still needs to happen. It still needs to be there. There shouldn't only be one fully inclusive adventure water park in Texas. They should be in every state of they should be in every all of the 50 states for everybody to enjoy, and not just Texas. It's ridiculous.
Because not everybody can travel to Texas.
Exactly. And we had Nikki Young on a few weeks ago from Morgan's Wonderland, and she was a wonderful show. If you haven't seen that one, go check it out on YouTube and check out our podcast that we did with her, discussing Morgan's Wonderland and the full inclusiveness of that. But again, going back to Lolo's video, she's right. Every single person is going to experience disability at some point in time. So get your life together, people, and start learning about the varying disabilities. And you know, it's just a must. It's just a must.
You,
You
you,
know,
do,
go
you
ahead.
don't you don't know from day to day what's gonna happen in your life. At any split second, something could change your life.
It's just a must, and I gladly wear my crown of advocate every day, and
Yes.
I'm sure you do too. But we as advocates and as activists, people like Lolo and you and I and DBT, this should not be a thing that we are just now learning about. Nowadays in colleges, I know they have maybe one or two courses on disability studies, or maybe you might be able to get a degree in disability studies. But 4 years, and this is just my opinion, 4 years of learning about disabilities is not long enough,
No.
because disability is a way of life, especially for you and I, and those of us who who live with disabilities can understand that and relate. But again, I'm going to say, and I'll keep saying throughout the show, everybody at some point in time, even ambulatory individuals, will experience disability. So get your life together, people.
I don't think it can happen to you because,
Yeah, don't think you're invincible, because I have so many friends who thought that, and have experienced a car accident and are now have a spinal cord injury, and learn and one thing that I have to say about this is learn about the different disabilities. Learn that just because you have a spinal cord injury doesn't mean that you have CP, or the latter. Just because you have CP doesn't mean that you have a spinal cord injury. They're all different. They all
yeah,
present them. They all present themselves differently. If you don't
they're,
know, go
they're
ahead.
all they're all unique.
Yeah.
And
And again, we're gonna say, and I've said it many times before, C, even though CP is what I have and CP is what AJ has, CP presents itself very differently in every single person that it touches, you know, and so day to day, AJ's CP is different than mine. So we all have to learn about what makes each other tick, and learn how do what do what Lolo. I'm sorry, do what Lolo said in the video, and just start connecting. Ask questions. Learn. Don't shy away from it. Don't be one of those people that are afraid to ask questions, because if you don't ask questions, you don't know. And we just want our goal, especially with DBTD nowadays, is to just educate. And so, if this show can bring some light and education to anyone, we just ask that you really pay attention and really listen to what we have
No,
to share because
knowledge is
go ahead.
power.
Yeah, knowledge is power. And I want to bring it back to the video where she said, you even hear stories about disability in the Bible. Like, so why has it is it only 31 years old? Why did it take so long again to find a Judy Human or to find an Ellie Stroker or to find advocates that will fight for things like this? It's ridiculous. I'm sorry, I'm a
But
little bit I jumped on my soapbox, so I got a little bit excited, but um
can I, can I
yeah, of course,
interfere?
go ahead.
Just why has it taken 31 years to make the ADA better?
Yeah, and why are we still struggling for, why do we have to say the ADA is great, but why does there have to be a comma after that? It should be amended, it should be corrected, and it should be a law that stands the test of time. And I mean, yes, we're going to evolve and society is going to move through it. But there should always be a space and time for corrections, and it shouldn't take us going, again, I'm going to say, it should not take us, going, it's great, but there's still some work to be done. Come on, guys, like,
I am frankly tired of saying it's great, but we need to do this, we need to do that.
and this kind of ties back into what you touched on a couple days ago when you did the episode on the Social Security Restoration Act. Like, come on, and I have to jump in here and give my opinion on that. And my question, much like this past ADA one that we just asked, is why the hell has it taken so long? It hasn't. The Social Security Income Administration Act has not been changed, and now correct me if I'm wrong, since 1972.
The uh, amount of earned living hasn't been amended since
It's been,
that
yeah, it hasn't been amended since 1972, right?
75, I
Oh,
believe.
75, I'm sorry. Yeah, 1975. I mean, come on, guys. Like, if you're with me, leave comments below in the podcast section and we'll get to them, or go over to our Facebook page and let's start a conversation about this because last week the Social Security Restoration Act was going around and everybody was giving it their opinion, and I know AJ, you did a short show on it, but it all kind of ties in together. It's been so long, it's been too long, and it just needs to change.
And for those that don't know what the SSI uh, Restoration Act
HR
is,
HR I don't know what the full bill number is, but you can go look it up. Just look up the Social Security admin Social Security, what is it in its entirety? Social
I said,
Security Restoration Act.
yeah,
Yeah. Um,
but
Go ahead.
it will provide up to 20, I mean, up to $20,000 if you're a married couple, and it will do away with any penalties for being married, and it will also give individuals a raise up to $10,000.
Yeah, and you guys, I mean, AJ just kind of laid it out there really quick, but if you want to see the bill in its entirety, please go check it out. You can Google it, Social Security Restoration Act. Please contact your local congressman. Let them know they need to pass this bill. Contact your local legislation. let them know they need to be on board because it will help thousands of people.
It will help the economy by giving people the incentive to work
That's
because
that's
they'll be able to raise the limits of what they can earn without being
penalized.
penalized.
You're absolutely right. And so we just want to kind of give that caveat before we jump into talking more about the ADA and more about the video and more about what we're really here for tonight, and that's to, commemorate and celebrate the anniversary, the 31st anniversary of the ADA. So that was a little side note. Again, if you want to check out the Social Security Restoration Act, we will have it over at dbtdmedia.com on our main website, and we'll also have it linked below in the show notes of the podcast and in the comments of the YouTube video or in the basement of the YouTube video. So go over, check it out. Please reach out to your legislators. Make sure this bill is passed on behalf of all of us, because let me tell you guys, if you don't know, it will help thousands of individuals with disabilities, including, and I'm not too proud to say, including myself and people like AJ. So, you know, please, please go check this out. Go contact your legislation, get it passed, guys, because it will be huge. It's time, and it's past time, and we need to just get on board. So, and coming away from that and jumping back into talking about 31 years of the ADA, AJ said it. We've come so far, but there's still so much farther to go. And again, I want to give credit to Lauren Lolo Spencer for kind of attacking it at a different angle, and just saying, get your life together, because it's, you know, anybody and everybody is going to be disabled at some point in time. So everybody needs to learn to just connect. And it's, I'm tired of talking about how inclusive the world needs to be or society needs to be. It just needs to be inclusive. There doesn't need to be a word. It just needs to be done.
There shouldn't be a need for modifications. It should just be done.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to, you know, when you go to college, sign is it, and let's jump on that, because you, AJ, are personally going through that right now. But when you go to college, when you go to sign up for college classes, you should not have to specify that you need this reasonable accommodation. You should not have to struggle so hard to get what you need. It should just be a given.
Yeah, I'll go
Want to talk about
through.
this a little bit?
I'll go. I'll go through hoops like you would not believe.
Oh yeah, I know, because I've done it too, and that should not be a thing. Again, with the ADA being 31 years old, it should not, that should not be a question. Just every classroom, every college should have, inclusive classes, and you shouldn't have to um, bring them a whole notebook full of notes from your doctor and this and that just to get the classes you need to get an education.
I I had to send over 5 full uh, envelopes of.
Guys, that's ridiculous. And, I know, and again, we're not throwing shade at anybody, so please don't take it this way. These are just
No,
these are just the opinions of us and the DBTD staff. Um, I do know some colleges that are very inclusive, and are wonderful. Wright State in Ohio is wonderful for individuals with disabilities. They're actually geared to house individuals with disabilities and geared to teach individuals with disabilities. So, I mean, if you know about Wright State in Ohio, you know how inclusive they are, And just every single college needs to be this way. It should not, again, I'm going to say it, and I find myself repeating a lot tonight, but every college needs to be inclusive. And again, we should not have to jump through so many hoops to get an education.
Yeah, we want to be productive members of society. Why, why is it so hard to do so?
And then jumping back into, what happens after you get an education and you have the degree and you've studied for umpteen amount of years, but you go out and you try to get a career and you try to apply, but you drive to the place of employment and they see that you're in a chair, and regardless of your qualifications, they don't even look at you because they're going to look at the Joe Blow next to you that can walk, because people get afraid. People get afraid of hiring people with disabilities because it's something different. And that's why a lot of people like myself and AJ have just learned to find a niche and do what we can from where we are, because we have talents and gifts that we have tried to use in the workforce, and a lot of them are, I mean, no offense, but are kind of discriminatory, because there might be a person with a disability who has the education and the background to do the job and do it well, but they're really, really afraid.
Sometimes you have to make your own way.
And I mean, I'm not just, and not in terms of that kind of AJ. I'm talking about companies are really afraid, even nowadays, to hire a
Yeah,
person with a disability. And the
but
fact is, you and I both know that a lot of individuals, including myself, and I know you, would, you know, work harder, faster, stronger than the next Joe Blow, because we know how important it is to have and keep a career.
well, when I was working uh, 8 to 5, I got fired for working too too much.
That's ridiculous. And that's another side of the ADA that needs to be amended. We need to make sure that, and, that employers, first of all, let's talk about sensitivity training, okay, because we've touched on that in the show before. Employers need to make sure that they have sensitivity training in every aspect of the job that you're doing. And then, employers also need to just be aware that we're here, and that just because we're in a wheelchair or have, does not mean that we are incapable of doing the job.
Yeah,
And again, it jumps us back into, why is this still an issue? 31 years later, we're still fighting for employment equality.
if if the government wants pe- people to work, I would think they would set out and make it easier for people to work with disabilities.
You're right. Absolutely. And that's just one of the things we wanted to touch on. I know we're kind of jumping around tonight, in relation to the ADA and the different topics, but, and again, we're going to say we're not in any way bashing ADA, because we are so ever grateful for what it does provide for us, and what, how far it has brought us as a community. However, if you do live with a disability like AJ or I, and you maybe have a spinal cord injury or something like that, then you've been affected by all of the things that we're speaking about, and you know that even though it's 31 years old, we still have so far to go.
And let me say, if you're newly uh, injured or have came down with something, re- read up on the past and read up on the activists that have opened the door for so many
Check out
of us.
again. I can say, and I speak when about what AJ said. If you're newly injured or you've just become disabled, go check out some of the pioneers that AJ speaks about in our pioneer series. Go check out the Judith Humans and the Ali Strokers and the I don't know.
Crip camp.
Oh, well, I was going to touch on Crip Camp before we ended, but there's so many pioneers who paved the way. Jennifer Chapin Chapman. If you go to Patty and Ricky, you will find my blog with an interview with her that was just phenomenal. She's a phenomenal pioneer of
Yes.
a lady who, climbed the steps of the Capitol the to get the ADA passed. You know,
And
like
got arrested at 6 years old to do
yeah,
so.
yeah, she was one of the activists that quote unquote got arrested for advocating and speaking her mind. And and if you want to if you want to check out information about her, go over to Patty and Ricky and check out the blog interview that I got to do with her. Go check out one of the latest Pioneer series that AJ did on Justin Dart. He's the father of the disability rights and the ADA. I think that's his nickname, correct?
Yes. He went uh, all 50 states three three times, getting signatures and stories from people with disabilities through all 50 states and brought it back to Washington.
And go read up on and go educate yourself on the sit-ins. Go educate yourself on the IDEA and 504 sit-ins that were so
Yes,
instrumental to helping the ADA get passed. Go do that, you
yes,
guys. If you want to become an advocate or you're newly injured and you just don't know where to start, or even if you're not disabled and you just want to learn, we're giving you guys some great resources, and we'll have them again. We'll have them listed on our main website over at DVTD Media. We'll have them listed in the show notes of the podcast, and we'll have them in the show notes of the YouTube video once it's uploaded by Wednesday or Thursday of this week. But if you really want to know, go educate yourself. And that's basically what tonight's about, is just saying, as great as the ADA is, as wonderful as it is, and has however far we've come in the 31 years since it's been signed, there's still so far to go and so much more to learn. And there's new generations coming about. We want to build we want to build smarter, more intelligent, stronger advocates. So if we want to do that, we have to make things happen. We have to educate. We have to bring forward these issues that are happening that
we
nobody will talk about.
we have to know where we've been to know where we're going.
That's such a great point, AJ. That was say that again because that was a mic drop point.
We have to know where we've been to know exactly where we need to go.
If you and I'm pretty sure everybody understood that, but if you didn't understood what AJ said, he said you have to know where you've been, or we have to know where we've been to know where we're going, and that is absolutely 100% on the mark true with with what's happening in the world today. And again, I'm gonna say something. I mean, and AJ and I have been at this podcast situation for a while now, but we've always seemed to say it in almost every podcast. But all that we want to do, you guys, is educate. And I know a lot of our interviews lately have been lighthearted and kind of fun, but our main goal every week when we come on here and we research and do our job is to educate, because we are advocates and we lived it. We have lived it and we continue to live it. So we just want a more inclusive world. We want to be able to raise our kids, in a world that they don't have to ask questions about why that person is in a wheelchair, or what happened to them, or why is that girl married to that guy and she's in a wheelchair and he's not. I mean, these are
Yeah.
not questions that should be asked in the year 2021. We should be so far beyond it. And the fact is, we're not. So we're asking you again, and we're pleading to you guys. If you wanna, if you wanna learn and you wanna educate yourself, then go do it. Go find out who Judy Human is. Go, I mean, just read books, educate yourself, and help us get the lost hats like the Social Security Restoration Act. You know, it's just
Because
it should be there. Go ahead.
because one day you might need the
No,
SSI.
might's not even the word. One day everybody
You,
is gonna
you will
be disabled.
you will
Yeah.
need SSI.
It jumps back into the video that we shared at the top of the show. One day every single person, whether you know them or however they touch your life, is going to have a disability because why? Everybody gets old. It just happened to us earlier because we were given the prize. We won the prize, okay? We were
We got the gift for coming out early.
we were shopper number 555. Ding ding ding. That's us. We won. Um
Let me say this. If you all are watching the Olympics, the Paralympics will be broadcast 2 weeks after the Olympics.
yeah, side note. The Paralympics, if you didn't understand what AJ was speaking of, the Paralympics will be broadcast on your local stations two
For
weeks
the
2 weeks after the quote unquote normal Olympics or
for
typical
the
Olympics. And
brave,
and boy, do we have some content for you coming on that.
yes.
Uh, that's that's coming up just around the corner. We are getting some information together for that next episode because oh boy, do we want to talk about how um, and I know if you are anywhere connected with the disability community, if you're anybody who's read anything about the Paralympics and what has happened to one young lady who was a Paralympian. Oh my goodness, do I have a lot to say about this. So that's kind of a sneak peek of what's coming. Um, we also have uh, the wonderful and bright and beautiful Miss Whitney Bailey from Spastic Chatter coming up the first part of August, and Miss Emily Butnick, who is an advocate here on YouTube.
Emily's coming on the second
Yes,
of
Emily will be joining us on August 2nd, and then we'll have a couple episodes in between, and then we'll have Miss Whitney Bailey of Spastic Chatter joining me for a just girl sit down chat because AJ is leaving me and just going on vacation without me to uh,
going.
to visit some family. So um, that is going to be a special episode that me and Whitney can sit down and just girl talk for a little bit. I'm sorry you're going to miss the
Yeah.
the chatter, but I'm sure you'll be watching it on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Woo.
You
Um,
I'll get you for when I get back, I'm sure.
but yeah, on August 2nd, make sure you're joining us, or make sure you're joining us because advocate and vlogger over on YouTube, Miss Emily Butnick, will be joining us. She is a disabled blogger, which I think is super cool. Um, and we just recently connected through something else that I'm doing, and me and Emily are kind of going to talk about that a little bit. So make sure that you tune in and keep up with what we're doing over the next few weeks, because we got a lot coming your way, because we're also going to give commentary on the Paralympics, and again, like I said, we're going to speak about one of the main topics surrounding the Paralympics right now. Uh, in future episodes. So again, make sure you're tuned in, make sure you're watching us, and subscribe, like and subscribe, all the things, because you guys, we're doing big things. We've got great content coming your way. Like I just said, we you know we love doing this for you guys every week. Although it keeps us busy, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, yes.
You know, we would love to have you join our family and be a part of what's going on, because we've got some big things going on. And
Oh, and
oh,
thank you to our friends at Friendly Shoes.
yeah, I was going to mention that after our announcement, um, but while AJ is on the topic, or while AJ is on the topic of Friendly Shoes, yeah, we are going to give a big shout out to our great friends over at Friendly Shoes, Joe, and the rest of the staff over there. They've been wonderful to us. They gifted us some really great shoes, and if you've been over on our Facebook page or anywhere where we share content, you've seen some of the pictures that we posted in the shoes. They are wonderful, you guys. They're the only set of shoes that I know of that are fully inclusive and adaptive, and they have zippers on the side that fit over AFOs, guys. And that's a really special feature that they really love to talk about over at Friendlies, because
And they're so
yes,
comfortable
they
too.
are. They're sneakers, and they're really comfortable. But that's a really special feature that they really want us to bring home to all of you guys, is that if any of our listeners or viewers are wearing ankle foot orthotics, these shoes are perfect for that. They fit right over, because they completely unzip on each sneaker, completely unzips for you to just slide your foot in. And again, it's perfect for AFOs. And even if you have dexterity issues and have issues tying, that's why they're really perfect for anybody with a disability and without a disability. They're just really great all around shoes. Um, and they have a really cool feature, and they will do this now for you, where they will sell you two different shoes. Like if your feet, a lot of times if you have a disability, um, if you're like AJ or I, and you have a disability, a lot of times your feet are just a little, one foot is a little bit different than the other. So what's special about these is that you can order whatever size you need to accommodate each foot. And they have children's lines. They have great, really fashionable women's lines. I love mine. Go over and check out. Like I said, go over to our Facebook page, find them and check them out. They're really great, attractive shoes. Go
Oh,
women.
yeah. And one more thing, if you would want a special deal on your Philly shoes, go to PattyRicky.
Hold, hold on. We're getting there. Hold on a second. I just wanted to, before we kind of wrap this promo up for them, which we must say, um, AJ and I have been gifted. Again, we're gonna say AJ and I have been gifted the shoes, and we've had time to wear them. And obviously, you'll see if you go and check the pictures of them out. You'll see. Thank you so much to everybody who's um, asked questions about the shoes and kind of contacted them and let them know that you heard about Friendly Shoes from us at DBTD. And if you want again, I'm going to jump back into what AJ was saying. If you want a special deal, go check out Patty and Ricky, because our deal with them, the 10% off, is still applicable as of right now. So if you go over and shop on Patty and Ricky and type in DBTD10, um, Patty and Ricky also sells friendly shoes, and you can, if you want to pick them up, you can use your 10% to get a pair of great friendly shoes. So thanks to everybody over, all the staff over at Friendly Shoes. We love your shoes, and yeah, Friendly Shoes is a great fit for DBTD, right?
Sure is.
Yes, and when you go and buy your great friendly shoes, make sure you tell them AJ and Shannon from DBTD sent you, because we always wanna pump those guys up because they've done such a wonderful and inclusive job with their great shoes.
Yep.
And another question that we have gotten recently in, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about the shoes, and then we're going to roll on into other topics. Did you see what I did there? Because that was kind of a joke. Anyway, um,
Yes, I
the
saw.
last thing I'm going to say about friendly shoes is a lot of people have been contacting us about how they can get shoes through like in the New Zealand area, or you know some of those countries like um, Australia. And Friendly Shoes does have um, a site that you can visit through there, and you can find that site. Just search our Facebook page, and you can find that site, and we will have it linked in all of our show notes after tonight and after everything is uploaded. So if you're in that viewing area or that listening area, don't worry. Friendly Shoes has got you covered too. Um, just check out that site and you can buy from there. So, a topic that we really didn't want to, we really hated jumping into tonight, but I think the time has come. And we're really saddened to say that due to issues beyond our control, and circumstances beyond our control, we have had to pull out of the Fashion is for Everybody fashion show in Tennessee. We want to thank everybody who supported us in going. We still, love every single one of you. We still have love for the Fashion is for Everybody team, and we still hope they have a wonderful fashion show. But
Yes.
like I said,
We
go
we
ahead.
know that they will have a great show.
Yeah, they're gonna have this. You guys, don't let this. Just if you were listening and you wanted to go, just kind of see us and hang out. Don't let if you want to go, don't let this discourage you from going. Please get your tickets and go. I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful show. I know it will because I know they're working hard. Just because of circumstances we cannot control, we had to kindly pull out of the situation. And there's no bad blood. Everyone understands. And so, again, we want to say thank you to Fashion is for Everybody and Alicia
Yes,
Searcy
we do.
for extending the opportunity to us, and just say, everybody, still go check out what's sure to be a wonderful fashion show. It's sure to be a great inclusive day night
Yes.
event. So we we were kind of waiting to do that because we didn't want to put that out in the universe. But we due to circumstances beyond our control, we we will not be participating in Passion is for Everybody. But we still want everybody to go out and enjoy the show, enjoy what is sure to be a great inclusive event.
I could not say it any better myself.
So, Mr. Martin, you got any any notes or any thoughts before we
Uh,
roll into our final?
I, I just would like to personally thank of fashion is for everybody and the staff over there, like you said. for
Yeah,
giving Doper the dating opportunity.
yeah. It was a really great opportunity, but um, like we said, some roadblocks have gotten in the way, and we we are sad that we won't be able to attend, but we are very grateful for the opportunity.
Yes.
Anyway, so let's roll into our final few minutes and kind of bring it back home, bring it back to what we were talking about at the top of the show, and that is 31 years of the ADA. Let's reflect on um, your thoughts about how far we've come and where we are. I know we kind of talked about that a little bit, but let's talk about some positives from that have come from the ADA.
Well, I personally, I don't think we we would have as many advocates that we do have if the advocates from the past would have pushed the ADA for opening the door for the low Spitzers of today.
Speaking of wonderful advocates, and you guys know if you, I'm gonna speak this name, and I've talked about her in the past before. One of my absolute favorite dynamic women with a disability is the one and only, the beautiful, the dynamic, the amazing Miss Judy Human. And did you hear, AJ, that they are adapting her wonderful memoir
Uh,
into a movie? And claps to whoever decided to do that, because
Thank
you
you.
guys, oh my goodness. You know,
When
go ahead.
when when that comes out, you will be blown away.
Yeah.
If you
Um,
haven't read the book,
yeah.
go read the book.
Yeah, we don't often give we don't often like recommend books or movies here. But if you haven't read the book, A Disability Activist Memoir by Judith Human, go
It's
check. Go ahead.
it's being human
Yeah,
activist mem-
the
member.
the full title is Being Human, an Activist Memoir, and we'll again, if you want to check that out, you can go find it on Amazon, and we'll also have it linked in all of our socials and everywhere we are. But if you haven't read that book, and you're just learning to be an advocate or an activist, go and get that book. It's like I said, it's not very often that we give recommendations or movie recommendations. But if you haven't read it, go read it. Go get it on Audible. Go and watch Crip Camp. Like Lolo was saying, I can't tell you how many times I have sat and watched Crip Camp, even as an advocate, and I've been an advocate for as long as I could remember, almost since birth. But this movie and this documentary and the book on they're she's just a dynamic woman, and
There
the book,
there are no words.
yeah, the book kind of illustrates her life and talks to you about how she's gotten to the point she is. And the documentary, even if you have a disability and you think you know everything there is to know about the disability community and disability rights and activism, you will be blown away, because that is a great starter documentary for anybody who wants to learn more about the disability community and how far we've come. So please, if you, again, we're going to say this the few minutes before closing, and then we're going to do finals and roll out. But check out the documentary Crip Camp on Netflix. I believe it's still on Netflix right now. Um,
Yes.
I cannot wait till this movie is adapted, and go check out her book, Being Human, an Activist Memoir by Judith Human. Go check her out on all her social, and she does also have a podcast called The Human Perspective. Go and listen to that on anywhere you get your podcast, because let me, you guys, she was just at the White House celebrating the anniversary of the ADA with Ali Stroker, who was the very first woman to ever win an Oscar. I think it's an Oscar.
No, it's a Tony.
Oh, a Tony. That's right. Yeah, a Tony, because she is and was on Broadway. And you guys, those are just two dynamic women in our history that they're just, I can't say enough. I'm proud to be a disabled woman because of them, and because of the women that came before me and paved the way. And that's why this is so important. And when we bring it back to the top, uh, through our last few minutes, that's why the ADA is still so important. So we celebrate it, and we celebrate it today and tomorrow and every day. But what really needs to be celebrated is inclusion, and you know, and just like Lolo said, we all just need to work and educate and connect. So as much as we celebrate the ADA, and as much as we appreciate those who came before us, and we truly do, um, if I had anybody, you often get those questions like, if you had, one person that you could sit down with and pick their brain, who would it be? Well, one of mine would definitely be Judith Human, because she is a fantastic woman, first of all. She's a fantastic lady advocate. She has done amazing things, and I'm so grateful to be a woman, who was raised in her time, and that she paved the way. So proud. Um, and I guess that's it, guys. Don't just use yesterday, July 26th, to celebrate the ADA. Celebrate it every day. Celebrate inclusion every day. Celebrate the fact that you are disabled. A lot of us get down on ourselves, and I'll admit I had a bad day yesterday.
Lord,
AJ's had a few
Lord
bad,
knows I have.
yeah, AJ's had a few bad days, but do the best you can to celebrate who you are as a disabled person, because we are doing big things in our community, and there's only bigger things to come, but there has to be people like AJ and I, and people like Lolo Spencer, and people like Judith Human, and people like Ali Strucker to pave the way. And you guys, just keep pushing, just keep working, just keep doing it, because we will get there. One day, this whole the whole society will be a fully inclusive society. And
Yeah.
on that, I think it's a wonderful way to sign off for the rest of the week. And AJ, final thoughts, words?
And with that, guys, we hope you have a good weekend. Remember, don't burn the day. If you have any thoughts or questions, please get with us. Facebook.com/DBTDpod or www.dbtdmedia.com.
And all the links to everything we talked about today, Friendly Shoes, um, Judith Human's book, the video from Lolo, everything will be linked in the comment section down below in the YouTube basement, and also in the podcast notes. So you'll have everything there to refer back to. You guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and we will see you next. I'm going to say we'll see you on the flip side, which is next Monday with Emily Butnick, advocate and blogger Emily Butnick, joining us on August 2nd. So you guys have a great week, a good weekend, and we'll check you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Don't burn the day.
Don't put the day out.
Bye,
No.
everybody.
Bye.
Have a good night.